Welcome to the Gut Health Calls to learn how to simplify your health and get great results. My name is Madison Burgess, and I am here with the beautiful Charlotte Carrera. And over the next 30 minutes, our intentions are to benefit your overall life and health and lead to you a healthier and happier you. Now, we do this by focusing on a handful of simple behaviors that will make the biggest difference. Now, we all know that our health isn't easy to change, and we know that life can get in our ways. And we don't take that lightly. And as we move through our topic tonight, and if questions may come up for you, please put your questions in the chat and we'll answer those at the end. So let's get this going. The most common question that people ask me is, I want to be healthy, but I don't know where to start. And sadly, as we all know, there is so much information out there and it can cause confusion and a lot of frustration. So our goal is to take the confusion out of getting healthy and vibrant, to make it simple with these simple behaviors that we're going to be talking about tonight. We're not going to talk about all of them, but we're going to pick one and have a conversation around that. And over the next several weeks, we'll be digesting on the other simple behaviors. So stay tuned for when we're going to have another event. So this is what we know that works, that good health begins in the gut. And there are three things that we must do to achieve good health. Number one, we must remove inflammation. Number two, restore gut health. And number three, repair damaged cells at the cellular level. And we do this by the handful of simple behaviors in cleaning the 3 elimination systems. So the simple behaviors are this, and you want to might write them down. Mindfulness, our mindset, our attitude. Hydration, getting rid of chronic dehydration. Eating clean, eating whole foods. Dysbiosis, which simply means an imbalance between the good and the bad bacteria. Now, we want both, but we don't want to have too much bad bacteria. We want to have more good bacteria than bad. So the whole goal is to reboot the gut and correct and support the gut health. Next is supplementation. You know, guys, there's no way around this. We must supplement in order to get to where we want to go. And we believe in showing people how to do supplementations through whole food supplementation, nutrient-rich, dense whole foods. And we'll talk a little bit about that. And then the last thing is movement. We must move. Our lymphatic system needs us to move. Our muscles and joints need us to move in order to be healthy and vibrant. So the simple behaviors, they are quite simple. And everyone knows these simple behaviors and probably has a good understanding of them. But it's not one simple behavior that's going to make the greatest results. It's when we do these simple behaviors together that add up to a powerful program that fosters a healthy gut, and it supports your gut-brain axis. It also removes inflammation and repairs damaged cells. And this can result in a variety of health benefits, including feeling lighter, improved skin tone, increased energy, improved mental clarity, and better sleep, to name a few. The simple behaviors are building blocks. They are synergistic. One is not without the other. Now, we're not saying to go out there and be perfect with these simple behaviors, but if you apply the 80-20 rule, you will get there and get good results. So meaning that 80% of the time, be good, 20% of the time, be a little bad. Not a lot of bad, just a little bad. So keep in mind that no two people are the same, and as such, we will each have unique experiences and results. But rest assured, we can promise you this, and trust us on this. When you are consistent with the simple behaviors, the results will come. You will get really great results. So tonight, the topic is how to correct dysbiosis, the imbalance between the good and the bad bacteria, which is one of the simple behaviors. We want to correct the gut. We want to reboot that gut. So, and this is the reason why. The gut is where where disease begins, from minor to major health issues. So we really want to focus on the gut. And when you clean up the gut, so many wonderful things can happen. So what I'd like to do now is share with you a very short video that's going to be talking about the microbiome. So here we go.
You know that your gut can carry up to 2 kilograms of friendly bacteria and other microscopic living things? There are over 1,000 species of the tens of trillions of small organisms that live in your gut. However, most of us don't appreciate what a vital role these gut microbiotas play in digestion and overall health. These microbes aren't just hanging out. They have a profound and direct impact on our health. Most of the microbes in your body exist in your intestines, and they're commonly known as the gut microbiome. The beneficial bacteria in your gut are largely responsible for important body functions and have the capability to affect your body's mineral and vitamin absorbency, digestion, hormone regulation, immune response, and the body's ability to get rid of toxins. What's more, the gut bacteria aid the production of vitamins that boost the body's immunity. Gut microbes have an influence on other organs and tissues outside the gut as well, with complex communication networks. In fact, they help regulate the function of the brain, muscle tissue, heart, and more. So what happens when the microbiome is disrupted? Naturally, when the microbiome is upset, the processes that are typically regulated are disrupted, and this shows in different ways, including a weakened immune system, a foggy brain, and more. In more severe cases, a disrupted gut can lead to the development of chronic conditions. This is why it makes sense to support your gut health, because it's literally at the core of your overall health.
One of the things that I do want to say is that, and I think this is really important key, a great takeaway from this video, is that 80% of our immune system is in the gut. And that is one of the reasons why it's so important to correct and protect the gut, but it's also the second brain. And if our gut is in balance, it's really hard for us to be focused, to be mentally aware, and have that great clarity and vibrancy in our brain that we really want. So I am going to hand this over to Charlotte so she can expand on what we've been talking about. Charlotte, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, if you could give me 1 second, I'm hearing a lot of background noise, so I have to go in and mute some people. Okay, all right, perfect. All right, so here we go, Charlotte. Sorry about that.
No problem. Thank you, Madison, for that great introduction in terms of how our gut health calls are going to be focused on. And so before I start, what I wanted to do was give you the definition of digestion. And that definition is based on 4 components: how we intake our food and our nutrition, how it breaks it down, how it assimilates the nutrients, and how we eliminate it. And all of that is done either efficiently or not, but it is done in a manner to keep the body functioning optimally. And what's also very, very simple is the basic elements that our bodies need, the 5 elements that create efficient digestion for vibrant health. Because the bottom line is that we're going for feeling our best. And the way we do that is by really focusing on the gut. You know, it's acknowledging that our body needs macronutrients. That means protein like collagen, the building blocks for muscle strength. And that also includes amino acids, fatty acids, you know, and the sources of those things are meat, fish, chicken, nuts, seeds, and microalgae. It also needs, in terms of macronutrients, fats like omega-3s and omega-6s, and the sources of those are oils and nuts and seeds and avocados and items like microalgae as well. But also too, the body needs, in terms of macronutrients, carbohydrates, which is fiber, good healthy fiber for our systems to be able to eliminate. And the good sources of that are vegetables, fruits, whole sprouted grains, and those types of foods. In addition, our body needs micronutrients. That's the trace elements and minerals that serve as what we call cofactors in keeping each of the organs functioning and fueling the immune system to make vitamins available, to make the nutrition available from the foods that we eat and the supplements that we take. And freshwater blue-green algae is a excellent source of Mother Nature containing all of the trace elements. I use that as an example because it really is a powerful superfood, and it provides all the minerals that our bodies need and has amino acid profile identical to mother's milk and creates homeostasis within each cell of our body for optimal health and function. So the other item that our bodies need for efficient digestion is it needs to have the ability to break things down in order to get the full nutritive value of our foods and to help eliminate the waste. If our body's not breaking things down, we run into trouble and we basically block up the system. And the source of that is enzymes, because enzymes really ease the digestion and the nutrient absorption of food, and use that with food enzymes. And they're responsible for keeping the body systems in proper balance by controlling virtually every chemical reaction associated with metabolism, as well as breaking down congestion, inflammation, excess food impacted in our intestines, clearing the blood, the lymph, water systems within the body. And so enzymes and being able to break things down is a really, really important role in our digestion. And so the good source of that are plant enzymes, raw protein, fruits, veggies. It's the full range. And again, I'm going to say the microalgae as well. In addition, the body needs to assimilate the nutrients. I mean, what good is it to break it down if your body doesn't have the ability to actually utilize it, assimilate it into your system? And it does this through the digestive tract, through the nourishment and the energy that we get from our foods and the supplements that we take. And a good source of assimilating those nutrients is probiotics. And the probiotics keep the intestinal lining healthy and it serves to protect the immune system from bad bacteria. We're talking about dysbiosis here and trying to keep things in balance. And so when 80% of the immune system is in the gut, that's where probiotics live. And the good bacteria needs to outbalance the bad bacteria in order for us to have optimal digestion. And really good sources of probiotics is fermented foods, sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, acidophilus, bifidus, and full spectrum probiotics as well. And then the last thing are all the added necessities. It's kind of a catch-all category, but this goes to show you how our system actually really works in a holistic way. We need water, we need exercise for oxygen and blood flow, and we need rest in order for the body to restore itself and fully utilize and eliminate the toxins that we've developed and accumulated throughout the day. So those are the basics that we're talking about in terms of really creating efficient digestion for vibrant health. It's simple, but yet very, very powerful. And each element of these things includes so much more than just what we've got here on the chart. Do you want to add anything, Madison?
Well, first I want to just say thank you. That information is extremely valuable, and people need to understand, why the gut is so important and how to really support and protect the gut. And and a lot of times you can just, take a little inventory of your body, of your gut, and write it down. Are you bloated? Do you have indigestion? Are you feeling foggy? Do you have stomach pain? Are your poopies moving? Are you moving once a day or twice a day or once a week or twice a week? And sadly, a lot of people think what normal is. People, I'll say to them, well, how often do you move your bowels? And I'm sorry, we do talk about poop. And they'll say, well, it's normal. And I say, well, what's normal to you? And a lot of people will say, once or twice a week. And so it's interesting to, hear that, because people really believe that that's normal. And what's normal is 2 to 3 times a day. And when I say that, they go, oh my goodness, what do you mean 2 to 3 times a day? And so, you really want to take some inventory of your gut and see where it's at and what it's trying to tell you, because your gut will speak to you, just like your body will speak to you. Learn to listen to your body, because it's a miraculous machine, and it's going to share with you what the information that you need, and help you get to where you want to go. And one of the things that I did want to share, that we do have a couple of documents. That's one is the plant-based enzymes, why choose a plant-based enzyme, why a DDS strand probiotic, and also Charlotte had mentioned the wild blue-green algae. There's a really great report out there called the Microalgae Report. And this is a report that's going to really share you the nutritional profile of the wild blue-green algae and why it's such a great superfood. Charlotte, would you like to add anything to what I said?
No, I think that you were really very complete with that. I think it is important for us to really take note as a result of just what was shared today in terms of what is your gut doing. Really pay attention and write that down, so that then you can move into I mean, when you do that, then you know what are the actions that you need to take, perhaps, or inquire a little bit more about and find more information about.
Exactly. So if anybody has a question or a concern, put your question or concern in the chat. And if anyone wants to get the 3 documents that I was talking about, reach out to the person that invited you, and they will get those documents to you.
Right. Yes.
So I'll just take a few moments here and give some people a chance to write a question in the chat. I got to pull the chat up. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, this is a great question. How much water should I be drinking to best support my digestion? That is a really great question. So this is what I teach. There's another document called the Water Cure Recipe. And this Water Cure Recipe teaches you how to drink water properly. The key thing is that your water must have minerals in it in order to be absorbed into the cell. And when we're talking about hydration, we're talking about our cells being hydrated, our blood being hydrated. The brain is the most important organ is when it comes to hydration, because it needs the most amount of nutrients and hydration. So how much? Well, what I teach is that you follow the Water Cure Recipe, and that means putting a little bit of Himalayan sea salt or Celtic sea salt into your water. I suggest using a mason jar. Mason jar is usually, about 24 ounces, and drink that before you do anything else. So the first thing, when you get up in the morning, fill up your mason jar, put a little bit of Celtic sea salt to remineralize it, drink that down before you do anything else, your coffee, your tea, or your breakfast. And then you can sip the rest of your water throughout the day. Now, if you weigh 120 pounds, you want to drink half your body weight in ounces. So that would be 60 ounces of water for that day. So the reason why I have people drink their water in the morning, first thing in the morning, 24 ounces, is because your body is doing a lot of work during the night to repair. And it takes a lot of fluid to repair. And so we want to, we're sweating through the night too. So we want to rehydrate our body first thing. But if you're exercising, and drinking coffee or carbonated drinks, you're going to want to increase your water. For every cup of coffee, drink, or a cup of tea, drink another glass of water. Charlotte, do you want to add anything to that? Did I forget anything?
I absolutely agree with you in terms of really taking, like when you're talking about taking inventory, really take a look at how you drink water and when you drink water. That's an important thing. And first thing in the morning is absolutely perfect, because it helps the system to get flushed. And actually, it's like putting gas in the car to get going, right?
Right.
Yeah, definitely. And then also too, if you are drinking, like you said, some dehydrating things or eating foods that are more dehydrating, drinking water before, during, and after is always a great exercise to do. And for me, I know that the biggest challenge that I find and I hear is that people just like, oh my goodness, I just can't drink that water. It's like you take it, make a plan, like you were saying, a mason jar, and then you can calculate how many of those jars do you need to drink during the day. And for me, what I do is I take that jar, that glass, and I'll take a drink, and then I take one extra gulp. That's just the extra, because by taking one extra gulp every time you drink your water, you're going to increase your water intake.
Exactly. That's really good. Thank you for adding that. You can also add infusion water with fruit and
Right.
vegetables, cucumbers and apple, green apple, any kind of
Yeah.
apple that you want. Yeah. So if you want to make it interesting, make it fun. Now, if you're going to add lemon to your water, I highly suggest that you drink it through a straw. Lemon's pretty hard on your teeth, on your enamel. So, if you want to add lemon to your water and drink water at room temperature, but drink it through a straw. I drink, whether I add lemon or not, I drink it with a straw because it just makes it more fun. And I actually, for some reason, I drink more of it. I don't know why, but I do. Okay, Charlotte. Oh, wait a minute, we got another question here.
Oh, good.
Can I get everything I need by the foods I eat? What are minimum supplementation you would recommend to maintain good digestion? That's a great question. The first part is, can I get everything I need by the foods I eat? Charlotte, we'll both talk to this. I'm just going to simply say that I wish we could. Many years ago, probably yes, because the soils were nutrient rich, and today they're not. And we're dealing with a lot more stress, and it takes a lot more nutrients when we're dealing with the kind of stress that we have in our world today. So, stress needs nutrients. Your body needs nutrients for energy. Your body needs nutrients for thinking. So everything we do, the cells are saying, hey, I need more nutrients. I need more nutrients. And for supplementation, to maintain good digestion, there are two types of supplementation that Charlotte touched a little bit on, and those are plant-based enzymes to help break down your food. They act like little Pac-Man going around breaking down your food, and they also eat debris. And that will help you digest your food, break down your food, and assimilate the nutrients from your macro foods, your whole foods. And then a probiotic. I always say start out with a bifidus, a really good bifidus that has is blended with micro blue-green algae and acidophilus, because those are the two biggest probiotics in the intestinal tract. Charlotte, do you want to add to that?
Yes. In terms of what you said earlier, in terms of, many years ago, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, our foods were much more enzymatically live. And, but there's a lot of processing, even when we lightly steam foods or cook foods, the enzyme nutrient value of the foods is going to go down. And we can't expect to eat completely raw, because sometimes that's even too harsh on the digestive system as well. The other thing too is each organ in our body produces its own enzymes, its own nutrients to function on its own. So when you provide food, the body will take some of those nutrients so that it helps each organ to function on its own as well. And I think we're asking a lot of our food these days to help our digestion and for our body to be in vibrant health based on just the foods that we eat. And I just think that because we've got so much more pollution, we're dealing with microwaves and all kinds of things, stress, like you said, Madison, that the body needs those extra enzymes and probiotics and micronutrients to help keep it going. It's kind of like having super gas, to help the body keep going. And everything is based on a whole food type of supplementation is the best. And we the excuse me, the documents that Madison made reference to, the enzymes, how to choose an enzyme, what's the best kind of probiotic, those types of things. That's very important information, because there is a lot of stuff out there that it's just, I call it filler. You might as well be taking cardboard, but you want to have something that's really live, something that's potent, something that's food-based, that will help your system as opposed to detract from your system.
Thank you, Charlotte. I also want to just say that, what's reason why, as Charlotte said, our foods are depleted, they're enzyme deficient. And back when they were enzyme rich, that, then that supports our life-sustaining enzymes, our pancreatic enzymes. And so we want to make sure that we aren't stealing from our life-sustaining enzymes, the enzymes that our body internally makes, because that depletes our health, our immune system. There's another question here. Should I take my probiotic supplement in the morning or night? I've heard both. Without my spectrobiotics, I have super gas. I love it. Okay. All right, good. More other people like to talk about the poops and gas. Charlotte, do you, I always recommend to take it at night, and because you want to allow it to really be in the system without anything else. So take it at bedtime, and so it can multiply and do its job to really help correct the imbalance in the microbiome, meaning the gut. Without my spectrobiotics, I have super gas. So yeah, Charlotte, you want to touch on that one?
Well, because and the reason for that is because the intestinal lining is impacted, and it needs to restore itself with the good bacteria in order for the digestive process to complete itself. If you've got a lot of gas, it's because there could be a lot of reasons. One is that you're gulping your food. Remember, the first part of digestion is intake. It's like how you sit down. When you sit down, do you chew your food? Do you gulp it down? Those types of things are going to impact the level of gas that you could have.
Yeah, exactly. And also too, it's true, part of eating is chewing your food, sitting quietly, not eating on the run, not eating in the car, all of that, because when we're in movement, the digestive system works best when it's quiet. But when you start to move around, it's telling the body, I don't need to digest.
Right.
And but also too, you talked about, there's some reasons as to why you're eating your food too fast, or you're not chewing your food. When someone has a lot of gas, we along with the simple behaviors, there's the 3 elimination systems: the liver, the kidney, and the intestinal tract, the gut. And that it might be a good idea to do some type of cleansing program that addresses those 3 elimination systems, because you probably, as Charlotte mentioned, a lot of putrefaction, meaning rotted food on the inside of the intestinal wall. And so that there'd be a good way to kind of take all of that putrefaction and just, remove it from the intestinal wall so the intestines can even work better.
Right. And if anyone is interested, they, again, just as along with the documents that we have here, if anyone's interested, we can always give them a recommendation.
Right. Get back to the person who
Right.
invited you, and they can definitely give you a lot of guidance. Okay.
What I also wanted to just close regarding, when is the best time? I too take my probiotics at night, but I am right now experiencing the need to do it in the morning as well as midday. So, and I'm just finding that my system is functioning much better And some of it might be seasonal, some of it might just be because I'm working a lot and I'm, you know, doing a lot more, so my stress levels are up a little bit more. So your human body is like a place to experiment, and what works for you, Madison, may not work for anyone else, or you know, we try to give a general recommendation, but it's really about experimenting, especially when you're talking about whole food probiotics and those types of things, that your body will respond in the best way that it knows, and it's up to you to discover what that is. And we're
Yeah.
here to coach that because of the amount of experience we have and such. But it's really about, like I said, right now I'm experimenting and noticing my system likes, you know, a little bit of probiotics at night and in the morning and midday.
Yeah, so thank you, Charlotte. It takes when anyone starts a new program, it takes about 90 to 120 days for the body to begin to correct itself on a cellular level. And so we always say, you use that word experiment, and it's what you want to do, your own experiment. Now, everybody needs supplementation. Everybody needs to eat clean food. Everyone needs to be moving, exercising. Everyone needs to, you know, work on their mindset. We all do. And, you know, we all need to be doing all of these simple behaviors, but not in perfection. But most importantly is listening to your body and being willing to experiment, you know, with your foods, with your supplementation, with water, and how it's going to support you, because everybody's a little different how they go through their day. Some people just need it at night, but Charlotte right now I know she's under a lot of stress because she's working a lot, and so she needs that extra support. But she listened to her body and said, hey, let me just try this and see if it works. So we are actually a little bit beyond 7:30. So I want to, oh, here's one more question. We'll answer this one more question, and then we got to say goodbye for tonight. Do probiotics have to be refrigerated? That's a big question. Depends on how they're made. You know, our probiotics, you can either leave them on the counter as long as it's in a cool, dry place, or refrigerate them. So, Charlotte, you want to expand on that?
Yeah, we call that shelf stable. That there's certain things that you can do to keep the potency of the probiotic and still maintain that stability, whether or not you put it in the refrigerator or keep it in a cool, dry place. I just tell people, if you're traveling and stuff, just make sure you're not putting it on the dashboard of your car or an extremely hot place, because you're going to degrade that, you know, anything kept that hot, you know, will lose its potency.
Great answer. Thank you so much. Well, sadly, we need to say goodbye, but remember, you know, the big tip for tonight is do a body inventory. Where's your gut? How's it feeling? Reach out to the people who invited you to help you move forward in your health journey and to get those documents. God bless everyone. Have a phenomenal night. Love you all. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Same time, same station. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.